Start recording. Okay. Hello. Alright. So we have our 1 week / 48-hour animation jam coming up in about a month. Actually, less than a month. The beginning of our 1 week casual animation jam is on February 24th, and the start of the 48-hour one is on March 3rd. So I want to go ahead and get people started on how to animate pretty quickly, pretty easily, since I know there's some people in here who've never really animated before. So first things first, I want to get a misconception out of the way, is that 24 frames per second does not mean 24 unique frames per second. That means there's not really 24 individual drawings in the animation. You're not drawing 24 drawings per second. I think this really illustrates.
My mom never came home from her trip. She could be anywhere.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot I want to talk
Riveting.
Why don't you sing to her? You need to rush up to her and hold her in your arms and then pour your heart out in a beautiful ballad. And then she'll know for sure.
No thanks. Okay, gonna play that again.
Why don't you sing to her? You need to rush up to her and hold her in your arms and then pour your heart out in a beautiful ballad. And then she'll know for sure.
Yeah, so this is pretty much very close to 24 frames per sec, 24 individual frames per second. There's some.
It's
okay,
you.
Stop playing.
James Baxter?
Yeah,
He worked on that movie?
I guess yeah. But yeah, so very smooth. It's almost 24 unique frames per second. Well, this one, it's a music video that I really like, but I'm gonna mute it. If you notice, the animation is a lot choppier, but it still gets the motion across, the idea of the motion across. So you want to aim towards the latter for a 48-hour or 1 week animation jam. You don't really have time to sit down and, draw 24 drawings per second. You will not get much done with that. So here's my biggest time-saving tip when you're doing animation is that, so you're gonna have keyframes, which is drawing out what the extremes of the motion are. Like, for example, if I'm like waving my hand, keyframe 1 would be my hand all the way over here, and second one would be all the way over here, and the in-betweens are what makes it an actual animation. But usually I would draw 2 in-betweens per 2 keyframes. Works best when you're animating on 4s and 6. And you just need an ease in and an ease out frame. What that means is you just need a frame that's an in-between frame that starts out the motion and the one that comes towards the end of the motion. A little diagram here that might be a bit hard to look at, but so say your keyframe for this circle right here is all the way over here, and you want it to go all the way over here, like in a rolling motion. Instead of drawing a circle smack dab in the middle, if you draw it kind of offset from closer to the keyframe 1 and then draw another frame closer to keyframe 2, then it makes it look like it's rolling in a more natural way, if that makes sense. So now that all that introduction is out of the way, let's go try making a quick animation. You do not have to use Miku. That is who I will be using because I love Miku. So for those of you who are on the school computers, if you look on your desktop, there should be an icon that says Harmony 22 Premium. If it does not show up, then just go on your search bar and look up Harmony. And you should get something that looks like this. First things, you want to make sure you're saving it in the right place. Save it where you can find it really pretty easily, desktop, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just create a folder or whatever, and select it. That is the wrong folder that I selected. Go to browse and then just save it wherever you'd like, just somewhere that's easy for you to find. So you can go onto desktop and then just select desktop, save there, or whatever you'd like to do. And then for those of you who've done that, you can just change the name to something really smart, something really nice and cool and totally not misspelled. Okay. And once you've done all that, you can just hit create scene. and let it think about it for a moment. Yeah. Oh, you don't need to change anything else on the settings. So down in this, where it says layers, see that plus button right there? The plus button, where if you hover over it, it says add layers. Right next to, right on the bottom, see those play buttons on the, kind of on the bottom right of that. Gonna click that and select color card. This just sets it so your background isn't transparent. This is very helpful when you're exporting. So if you're exporting something with black line art and you notice that it's just pitch black, then it's probably because you don't have a color card. And then you can go back and select this default drawing layer if you'd like. This is where you're actually going to draw. And this right here with all the little lines and the numbers, this is your timeline. This is where you're actually going to create cells or the drawings for your animation. So you're just going to go ahead and click that very left, very first one. And then if you go through this very far left, you see that pencil tool and that brush tool. That's how you're actually going to select and draw your frames. So with the scene palettes on this very right hand side, that's how you're going to select your colors. I usually like doing my rough animation in blue, but you can do it in black, whatever you'd like. And then using one of the tools back over here, either the pencil or the brush, you can start making your strokes. If you want to undo, that's Control Z. It's your best friend. Scrolling in and out is the little wheel on your mouse. If you want to move around your canvas, it's this hand right on your far left side, right above the stick figure. And if you want to select, say I have a drawing, and I want to move this around, I don't like it where it is right now, I'm going to select that black arrow in the top left, circle it, and you see the select tool options right here. You want to make sure the easy drag, the little square with the click thingy icon, you want to make sure that's turned on so it's easier to just click and drag your object. Depends on what tool you're using. If you're using the pencil tool, you won't have much pen pressure. So with this, you're going to go to the select tool, which is the black arrow on the very top of this left column, and make sure you have easy drag turned on. It's the one I have my arrow hovered over right now. So first things first, you're going to go in and draw your first keyframe. I'm going to draw a little animation of Miku like raising her hand up like yay. Okay, so my first one is with her arm a little bit down. I'm going to go back and turn the default brush on. So I'll give you around, let's see, how much longer do we have on this video? Okay, yeah, I'll give you around 10 minutes to draw this first keyframe. Oh, smoothing. If you have the pencil tool on, I know there's center line smoothing. If you turn it up, it'll smooth it out a little bit more, or should at least. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but that black rectangle, that's the bounds of your camera. So if you draw anything outside of that, like let me draw a little bird on the outside of that, then you're not gonna see that in your final render. All right, we're moving on now. Moving on to our second keyframe. This is the other extreme pose. So to move on to your next drawing, see that line next to the one that's grayed out now? Just click that. And oh no, your previous drawing, you can't see it. You want to kind of be able to see it if you're doing an animation. So you see that those pancake looking icons? If you hover over, it says add onion skin. It's right next to the layer name. Click that and oh, it's showing up in red now. That means it's on your previous frame. Yeah, she turned evil. And your next step is to draw the next extreme. So for my Miku, it would be with her arms like spread out, like haha, yay. All right, moving on. So right now we don't really have an animation. That's for two reasons. One reason is that you don't have any in-betweens, and another bigger reason is that right now they're only showing for one frame. So if I play this, I'm gonna put it on loop so you can, there wasn't a lot going on there. So to make it, one important step is that you want to extend the exposure. That means how many frames it's showing for. And since we want to account for the in-between frames, you're going to go down to these two grayed out frames. Shift select to select both of them. Anyone need help with that? Alright, and then you're going to shift select to select both of the frames that you've drawn. So it's these grayed out ones on your timeline. Shift select that, and then you're going to right click, and a bunch of options should pop up. Yep. So you're going to go to, where to go? Hold on. Shift select. You should have something that says exposure on there. If you don't, just shift select and right click again. So if you hover over the exposure, you're going to have a bunch more options. And you're gonna go down to set exposure. And you're going to set this number to something around 8. So now when you play the animation, it looks a little less chaotic.
What does that actually do?
So it makes sure that your drawings play for more than just one frame. So right now when I play it, you know, you can actually see each individual drawing as compared to before. So once you've got that, you want to go to somewhere around frame 5, which you can check right here on the bottom above the layers where it says frame. Go to frame 5. You're going to right click, go to drawing, and click create empty drawing. And you should have a new frame for you to draw on. And if you select around the middle of it, around frame 6 to 7, you'll notice that there's a different color. All the green that you're seeing right here, that means that's the next drawing. And then the red is the previous drawing. But it's a bit hard to click back and forth when you're doing an in-between, since you want to draw your drawings in between that red and the green. So you see these little red and green triangles up above your timeline right here. If you can see it. You're gonna click and drag to where you can see both of those. So you're seeing the frame before and after. All right, so once you've done that, you're going to draw your first in-between, and how you're going to do that is, see these red lines and then these green lines? You want to draw your lines closer to the red lines than the green lines. This is going to be easing in. So you're just going to go through and kind of try and draw closer to the red than the green. So you want to go to frame 13, kind of in the middle of your second keyframe. And you're going to right click, drawings, and duplicate drawings. This is to ensure that your drawing doesn't disappear. So you're going to go to frame 13, right click, drawings, duplicate drawings. And then you're going to go to frame 9, the beginning of this one, and you see there's two cells, two drawings with the same drawing. You're going to go to frame 9, right click, drawings, and then create empty drawing. So now you've got an empty drawing in between that first in between and your second keyframe. And then you're going to draw your second in between. Similar process to your first in between, but instead of drawing it close to the red lines, you're going to draw it close to the green lines. And that is the wrong color. Okay, let's do this. Alright, so once you've got all your frames drawn out, you can go through, hit play, see, oh wow, it's an animation now. Congratulations, you've made an animation. So if you want to export this, this should end on frame 16. Remember that?
Change that active timeline.
A what?
If you drag the end bit.
Oh yeah, you can drag the end bit to the red end bit to the where your thing stops.
So if you do that, then it'll keep going.
Yay.
Watch it hypnotize. That's what I do. And I just keep it going.
Yeah, I usually like export it and like select frames.
No, I look at it.
Okay, and once you do that, you can go to File, Export. You can do it as an animated GIF, movie, whatever you'd like. I'm going to do it as a GIF. Just save it. Change your name, type out my file name. And then just, you don't have to worry about any of these settings, just press OK. What are you? So yeah, once you have it exported, feel free to just share it in meeting discussion. So hope you all were able to have some fun with animating with that. make something nice and cool. Meeting is technically over now. We are over 2 minutes. Animation Jam will be starting on the meeting February 24th. That'll be the 1 week casual jam. Then the next week after that, it'll be March 3rd. That'll be the start of the 48-hour animation jam. And that's about it, I think, So yeah, thanks for coming. And hope to see you all in the next meeting.